What's going on? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, the authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. This is the preview for the game against Brighton at Old Trafford. If you're wondering why we're slightly late, it's because Dan is currently on the phone to Jadon Sancho to make sure if he's in the team squad or not. So don't worry about that. He'll be joining us shortly. We'll ask him, we'll pick his brains about the conversation he had with Sancho when he gets onto the screen. But for now, we've got Adam and Shreyas with me. Adam, how are we doing, pal?
Doing good. Just climbed the mountain, so the legs are like jelly. Thankfully, I'm sitting down for this. So no, other than that, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, something tells me your legs might be like jelly tomorrow as well after the game, but we'll dive into that. Shreyas, you've arrived with a new headset. How are you doing?
Yeah, an upgrade was needed because my audio wasn't really getting across the other end. So yes, a new headset, a new mic, and yeah, all ready to go.
Yeah, it's gone from Maguire to Varane in terms of headsets within minutes. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, opinions, anything you want to throw in the chat, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. The warm-up, I promised the lads before we went live, we're going to do it right now. So, in the last 5 games, who has won more, United or Brighton?
In the last
against
games,
each other.
Against each other.
Against each other, yeah. In all comps.
Oh,
They went into 2.
I'm gonna go. It's even.
Brighton have one more.
Shreyas is right.
Yeah,
so we lost 1-0 away.
Yeah.
We won on pens in the FA Cup, didn't we?
Yeah.
Just scraping through that as well.
Lost,
Right
at home. And before
yeah,
that,
Brighton
we
is
got
at home.
humiliated by them as well during Ragnar.
4-0
Yeah.
at the AMAX.
Yeah.
And then 2-0 at home as well.
Yeah.
So
And
Brighton have won 3. We have won 2. Here's the next one. Are you ready for this? Who scored more? And again, people in the chat get involved with this, not just the lads on I can't fucking speak. Jesus. Get involved in the chat. Who has scored more? Ferguson just this season or Antony in the full season last season?
In all comps.
Just the league.
Oh, just the league. I think they scored. No, wait a second. Antony debut.
I think he had 6 goals, Anthony.
Yeah.
Ferguson, he's had a hat trick already, and he scored, I think, 2. It's either 5 to Ferguson this season, 6 to Anthony last season, or it's around that. It's around that mark, I think.
Yeah,
I'm going to go Ferguson. I'll go Irish.
About the same mark, 5 or 6.
Oh, I thought he was going to develop on that point then, sorry. I'm just double checking. I'm pretty sure it's Ferguson, but let me just double check that because...
it should be Ferguson who scored more, because I think Antony scored 1, 2, 3, 4. I think he scored 4 in the league last season, Antony.
Oh, yeah, so it's even. Sorry, it's 4 apiece. 4 apiece.
It is actually 4.
4 apiece.
Yeah, 4 apiece. Sorry. For some reason, I'm not allowed to type that down. I'm getting me facts and actually to do a warm-up, but I've not even got the fucking answer on the screen.
I just remembered that Antony only scored 4 in the league.
Yes, 4 goals, and then him and Sancho got I think Sancho got 6, so there was 10 goals between him for wingers, which is
Not
pretty
bad.
shit, isn't it? No. Right, here's another one. Who cost more, Antony or Brighton's full lineup who played against Newcastle?
Let's just say they cost.
I'm just looking at it.
Try add it up in your head tonight, just quickly. Brighton's lineup. How much do you think they're worth their lineup?
Mitoma plus March plus Welbeck plus Verbruggen.
And Sifari came on loan.
Yeah, but
not that much.
But this is the team. This is the lineup against Newcastle. Just starting 11 against Newcastle.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with Antony.
Antony should have costed more, I think, the entire lineup.
Yeah. 81.1 million pounds Antony cost. Brighton's full team, the lineup that started against Newcastle, was 76.4 million pounds. Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
76 million.
Yeah, shocking. Because I was looking at the team before, Solly March came through the academy, Lewis Dunk came through the academy, Esther Pinion was 10, 15 million, Mitoma was 2 million.
Yeah.
They spend really well and recruit really well, which we cannot do.
I mean, imagine Joao Pedro has been their record signing, and even he just cost them 20 million.
26 was it?
20, 25, something about that.
Yeah, not great at all. Last one. Who scored more goals, McAllister or Bruno Fernandes last season?
Bruno Fernandes.
In the league, by the way. I forgot to say in the
Okay,
league.
in the league.
In the league.
In the league.
Bruno, I don't think scored many in the league. I don't think he even got over 10.
No, not in the league. He didn't get 10. For sure, he didn't get over
Mhm.
10. But
I think
across
McAllister scored against Liverpool.
yeah, he did. He scored against us I guess it was the pen that he scored.
What are we saying, people in the chat? Let me know. 10 of you, leave a like on the video for us as well if you haven't done already. Or people who are watching
I
later.
think
We didn't get
McAllister
that
scored
many
more
penalties.
because he took penalties for them as well for Brighton.
I need a final answer.
And
Boys.
God knows they got McAllister, because they definitely got way more penalties than us.
Yeah.
It was McAllister. McAllister was actually the top goal scorer with 10 goals in the Premier League. Bruno Fernandes had 8 just in the league alone.
Yeah.
So there's your warm up. Some facts for your days. You say one fact a day keeps the doctor away. There's 3 for you that I've just flung out there. So let's talk about United then a little bit, and then we'll get into Brighton. We obviously play tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock kickoff, which is shit because no one likes 3 o'clock kickoff, especially when it's 2 teams that get a spectacle like United versus Brighton. We are against a team, of course, who are bagging goals for fun at the moment, and even after getting their best players pinching, Caicedo, McAllister, it seems like it hasn't affected him at all. With him being this kind of club that's well run, these issues don't affect him. Caicedo, 115 million, no worries, you go. McAllister, one of our best players, you go as well, don't worry about it. We'll just recruit, we'll replace you with, pretty much the same talent-wise, and we'll move, don't worry about it. Manchester United, on the other hand, not so much. We've had a scattergun transfer window, double-digit injuries, a shaky start to the season, and drama off the pitch. So it's literally been like, you can't even write it with United at the moment, as we know as United fans. With that being said, Adam, do you still feel confident heading into this one with the talent that we've got?
What talent we've left. Everybody seems to be picking up injuries.
Talent that we can pick from.
Yeah. Obviously, we know Sancho isn't going to be involved probably at all. If he is, that's a major surprise, and I think it'll turn all the heads of journalists, because journalists have been reporting so much, and I'm sure they don't know what's going on, and they're just going to report crap.
Biggest smoke screen ever, that, innit? Could you imagine?
That'd be some
he's starting, Deserve is like, what? What the fuck?
So, but something tells me he isn't going to start. So we obviously, him, Anthony aren't going to be involved. We'll get into lineups later, but we don't have that many options on the right, where we had a few. I'm not too sure what the timeline is in terms of Amad Diallo's injury. Someone like him coming in could have been very helpful. But I think when you're looking at Højlund, I know we haven't seen much of him, but the cameo that he made against Arsenal was very big impact. I think he made a flick on, did he?
For the
Garnacho goal initially. Yeah, and it almost reminded me of, do you remember that counter-attack against Arsenal? I think it was in the Champions League.
Mane, Rooney, Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it looked like that. It reminded me of that, and I of course went over the moon from a high to such a low in the space of 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. But I'm looking at midfield. Amrabat coming in. We don't know the full story yet. We haven't seen any training pictures.
He's not available. Just to throw that out there.
He's not. Is he not?
No, he's not available.
Okay.
So, just when you're going off on a tangent about Amrabat scene, it's going to be perfect in the midfield. And he's not starting.
Mm-hmm. I think it would have been a perfect game for him to come into. He's a very physical player, could have really helped in that midfield. But we're probably going to see someone like Eriksen come in, who I am a bit worried, because I think Brighton are really good in the transition as well and could hit us really bad. How I see it, do we have enough talent going forward? Not on the right side, but Rashford on the left. If he has one of his good days, we could be away. We beat them. I know it went to penalties, but we played quite well in that semi-final, and we did beat them on penalties with a squad, for me, that wasn't as good, because we had Weghorst up front, and that's like playing with 10 men. So we actually have a striker now, but now we don't have a right winger. It seems to be we fix one issue and then another issue arrives then. I think we probably do have enough talent to get by, scrap it. But our defence is where I'm worried, because there's no one apparently available. No left backs. We're missing centre halves, who we should be relying on now. Our starting centre half choice is a big question mark at the moment. I am worried. I think we do have enough to damage them and nick a win, but I'm just very, very worried about the defence.
Yeah, agreed. I want to get on to specifics, Shreyas, and I want to discuss the right wing shortly as well. But just for tomorrow, whether it's tactics or individuals, whatever it is you want to discuss, what do we need to get right specifically to stop Brighton?
I think one thing that we definitely need to get right tomorrow is that we cannot afford to be, starting the game asleep. Like, when we started the game off against Nottingham and we conceded, 2 goals within the first 10 minutes. Maybe against the teams like Nottingham that can still work. Maybe we can still nick a result against those sort of teams. Against Brighton, if you concede 2 goals within the first 10 minutes, you can, just throw the game away then because you won't even get a draw. I think tomorrow we need to start the game fresh. We need to start on the front foot. We definitely need to maintain our shape, especially when Brighton are on the attack, because when Brighton are moving ahead with Mitoma and with the likes of Solly March and the way Evan Ferguson or Joao Pedro or whoever is playing up front for them, one of the major things about Brighton is you cannot predict what their attack actually is going to look like. Sometimes Welbeck drops in the 10 and Pedro, plays up front. Sometimes Pedro drops in the 10 and Danny Welbeck plays up front. So it's different sort of attack transitions that they make, and it helps them a lot because you just don't, you cannot predict their attacks. You genuinely cannot understand from where Brighton are going to come out from. Once again, their wingers are going to be a threat. Solly March has been in great form. Mitoma has started this season as one of the better wingers in the league once again. Their midfield actually looks really good as well. The signings they made in the Hove seem to have actually filled those voids left by Caicedo and McAllister quite well. And I think they lost their keeper as well, Robert Sanchez, to Chelsea. So they've gotten another keeper who seems to be doing a reasonably good job. So overall, the wing positions, our midfield, and at the same time the center has been able to absorb the pressure from Mitoma and March when they're cutting in.
Yeah.
That's the areas where we need to, actually look out for them, because if you fall asleep on Mitoma or March, they can cause a lot of problems to us.
Yeah. I think in the Arsenal game, Adam, it seemed like we was much more, in comparison to the Tottenham game and the Forest game, it seemed like we was much more compact and reserved, and we was more comfortable with Onana stepping out. It was kind of breaking up their kind of pressing structure, so he was quite relaxed from the back, and then we could play through. What do you expect tomorrow? Do you think, obviously United being at home, the onus is on them to have possession, but do you think it will be us counter-attacking? Do you think it'll be 50-50 possession? What do you expect?
Probably see it a bit more 50-50. I think they're going to try and hold on to the ball a bit, but we're at home, so I can see us also kind of countering that. So I think it's going to be quite an even game in terms of possession. How I see it, against Arsenal was probably our best performance of the season so far. I know we've won games, but we haven't done it convincingly. There was question marks in that Wolves game. We didn't play well at all. They literally walked through our midfield. But then against Arsenal, we were compact, kept everything tight. Anthony he had one of his better games for us. And that's why it leaves a big void now on that right side. I'd be a lot more confident if we did have Anthony going into it. We'd have quite a similar kind of team that we did against Arsenal. But it's just, again, the defence is shaky. You saw what happened when we brought on Maguire and Johnny Evans. We just collapsed. We did. It was like waving a white flag. It was at that point, and that's what I'm worried about.
The pound shit staying on it.
Yeah, pretty much the shit the bed did it. It's like getting the bed sheet just going like this.
Yeah, poo.
Pretty much. And I'm just really worried about that. I'm confident in the midfield because at that midfield we did start against Arsenal. They played really, really well. We didn't see Arsenal walking straight through it. I thought Rice didn't play that well against Arsenal. I know he got the winner, typically would, but he didn't have a good game for me. And we actually managed to stay on top. We were creating like half chances. I know the stats kind of tell otherwise, but one thing I've learned is you need to watch a game with your eyes rather than looking at the stats, because stats like lie on how a game is. we played a really, really good game against Arsenal. I'm hoping we set up similar like that because Brighton are quite a similar team in terms of how to play, kind of like Arsenal in a way. But I see them as a more... Yeah.
Sorry, it's very quick in possession, aren't they? With that sharp, like you have to be so focused because if you turn away for 1 second, they'll kill you up within minutes. So I agree with that.
And Arsenal do that. Very, very similar. So if we play like we did against Arsenal, but like keep our heads a bit more level at the end, I think we can walk away with the 3 points.
Yeah. Well, let's address the elephant in the room then, Shreyas, because it is obviously the right wing spot. You've got Jadon Sancho, who's been told to pack his bags and God knows where he is right now. You've got Anthony dealing with separate issues after probably New York in a nightclub. But you got Anthony separate issues off the pitch as well. So obviously, I mean, I don't even need to ask this question. I kind of know the answer to it. But the right wing spot, is it Plesure's time to shine now?
It is. It is because out and out, he's the only natural right winger we've actually got who is fit and who can play in that position. Garnacho definitely can play there, but he is a natural left winger. He's not a natural right winger. What Pellistri actually brings is, the old dimensional wingers who just like to, take defenders on and go in with crosses, go in with those balls, especially when you have a striker like
direct.
Yeah, that's the sort of winger he is. And if he plays tomorrow, he can perhaps show us something that we've lacked in that winger position for quite some time, that sort of crossing ability on the ball, because as much as Anthony has the ability to cross, he never does that job. Same goes with Rashford. Most of the times when they're around the box, they actually like to cut inside more and go in with a shoot, or just pass the ball backwards and create spaces somehow. With the case with, I think, Garnacho as well at certain times is he has more crosses into the box than Rashford. But with Pellistri, the thing is he is more and out a crossing winger. Even when you see him playing for the Uruguayan national team, when Suarez or Cavani were up top, his job was, just to supply the ball to them, and he did that job so well. Like, he plays exceptionally well for the Uruguayan national team. So perhaps with the right set of players, which I think right now, if we've got the, midfield department sorted when it comes to our injuries. Like, even if tomorrow we start with Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno, and then you've got a winger like a Pellistri, I think he can actually show his game quite well on the pitch. And with a Højlund up top, you need those sort of wingers who can supply the ball to him, because he needs service. Now we've got a striker who can finish off those chances, so we need to provide him with the ball, and I think I see that happening a lot more, having someone like a Pellistri on that right hand side.
I think there's going to be a few surprise selections tomorrow in both teams. I really, really do. Because Brighton like to switch it up as well. They don't always have the same consistent, especially in the number 10 position. I've seen Welbeck play there. Yeah. Pedro's played there. They really do rotate and stuff. And one surprise selection, at least for me, is Evan Ferguson, because I thought he was injured, Adam, with Ireland. But apparently, I think you mentioned that he may be available for this game. So is he going to be a problem tomorrow? A thorn in our side, if you will?
Huge trap. I'm quite annoyed that we didn't actually, kind of stick our noses in there before he signed the contract. Yeah. It was because looking at him now, he scored a hat-trick against Newcastle, who last season were one of the better teams in the league. I think they had second most clean sheets, was it?
Yeah,
behind us. It was. Yeah. And defensively, they conceded a lot less goals as well than us. Yeah. So they're a good defensive unit, they are. And you saw the types of goals. You saw his hat-trick, I presume, did you?
Yeah.
Against them. And I didn't know he had it in his locker to actually score from range too. That's a worry as well, especially how we saw Wolves walk through our midfield. Like, if we let that happen and he's running through, he can take a shot from distance as well, especially with Onana being a bit higher off his line. So there's another thing to worry about. The guy is complete. He's strong, he's fast, he's good in the air. He's good with both feet from what I see, and he's good on his feet as well. He's not like, one of these kind of very sluggish players in terms of when the ball gets to his feet. He's quite a good dribbler. There hasn't been this much noise in terms of an Irish player within Ireland in a long time. I can't remember really the last time there's been this much hype, and there is a lot of pressure on the lad's shoulders as well. And he was injured for the 2 international games that we had, and it was against France and the Netherlands, who are more tougher opponents as well. France, the ex-world champions. And you're without our best player at the moment, our goal scorer, and we lost both games. We did, and we're not scoring enough goals. We're not. That's our problem. So if you take your top goal scorer away, it's going to have a massive impact, and it has. I'm not too sure if we'll qualify, but he is going to be a big thorn in our side tomorrow. Especially, if Lissandro's playing as well. I know he's a bit smaller in that, but this guy, he's quite tall and he's very physical. And a lot of the time, look, I've trusted Lissandro, and he's actually done a job on the likes of Haaland, who's the best in the league. But Ferguson just has something different about him. He does. Like, he can actually break. Like, for Haaland, he's more of like, your old school kind of poacher. I know he's fast as well, but Ferguson, I think, has kind of a bit more in his locker as well. He has that strength, but he also can dribble it into the box, dribble past the man as well, and do a fake shot turn. He has that in his locker, and I haven't seen a player like this at that age for a long time. He's going to be a big worry, especially if we see Johnny Evans or Harry Maguire in that team. Hopefully we don't touch wood.
Well, he's only 18 years old, isn't he? Evan Ferguson at the moment, which is pretty scary. Like, the thought of him developing even more is looking very, very promising. And Brighton are going to slap £100 million price tag on him instantly, because obviously he's signed that new contract now. They'll wait for another year, like they did with Casado or any other players. And yeah, obviously he looks like he's going to develop into. I think him to United would be the perfect marriage as well. Like, obviously our fan base in Ireland, being Irish yourself, you'll know. Obviously, it's huge. The Ferguson thing, like, it's so much there that it's like
written in the stars.
It is. I think if Fergie was here, that is a player he would go and sign. I genuinely believe that. Can we go live to Dan Raj yet? Is he done?
And he's
has
back.
he done
Enough
speaking?
Jadon Sancho.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah,
he's here.
So Dan has just been on the phone to Jadon Sancho. We can give him an update whether he's going to be in the squad or not. Yeah. There we go. Dan, if you would like to unmute yourself. I don't know if he's still eating, to be fair. I thought he was ducking into his...
Yeah.
Yes. Talk to me, Dan. Deserve it, Brighton, football in general, the game tomorrow. What do you reckon?
So we are going into a game with all the chaos we had last 2-3 weeks. I'm not sure how we are going to play the game. But yeah, to be on the positive side, we have few players coming back from injury. And that's a positive sign. So yeah, we have been missing the Premier League for the last 2 weeks seems like ages. But yeah, coming back and playing against a very good, strong team. And if we get a win, then everything will be on track for us, and happy days again.
Yeah. On the soundboard, I wish I had surprise, motherfucker, because there's probably people watching right now. It was just like, where the fuck did he just come from? Surprise! That's what we do. Yeah, like fucking Igalo. No, I'm not. You're not Igalo, Dan. I'm not going to use it. I said that, mate. And I was like, no. Yeah, that's an insult. You're not Igalo. I just meant the last minute. You get what I'm saying. I'm digging myself on a hole there. I'm going to move on from that. Let's read the comments. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. I'd like to see how a partnership between Bruno, Højlund and Pellistri develops. If Ten Hag plays Sancho tomorrow, it'll be like when we found out The Undertaker and Kane were in cahoots. Okay. Dave Lewis in the chat, big up to Dave, saying, if I'm Pellistri, I'm knocking on Eric Ten Hag's door and saying there's no senior right wing at the club. Give me a chance. Now, we may not start, but there's midweek games now, isn't there? Rotation is needed. 4-4-2 with Højlund and Ferguson. Wow. Just imagine it. That would have been Fergie back in the day. It really, really would have done. Like Solskjaer and whoever you want to mention as a striker. Shreyas, Brighton have a number of weapons, which we discussed. A couple of them already. Which one is the most important to nullify individually?
I think the most important would be whoever plays up top. As simple as that. Whoever is.
Well, it's going to be Ferguson, right? It's going to be Ferguson who plays up top, I imagine.
You never know.
You think Welbeck will come back and bang a couple of goals at Old Trafford?
Or what if it's Joao Pedro starting up top? Or what if it's Solly much deployed as that false nine with Mitoma and Ferguson playing that role of just bombing into the box. You never know how Brighton are going to turn up into a game, which makes them that difficult. But the point is, whoever is going to act as that focal figure, you need to swamp them out, because the moment you swamp them out, I think we still have enough to deal with the likes of Solly March and Mitoma, because I think last time Mitoma and Wan-Bissaka actually came head to head, he had an absolutely brilliant game. So I think Mitoma can still be nullified. On the left hand side, I think Dalot had an incredible game as well against Bukayo Saka. So, and even during the international break, Dalot has looked like one of the better players in that team. So he has been high on confidence. I think if he comes back, he can take care of Solly March. So that leaves us with the most important figure, who, whether it's Evan Ferguson, whether it's Joao Pedro, or whoever it is playing up top. How is our backline going to be shaped up when it comes to the center backs, and what is our midfield actually going to look like? Because we need to be defensively sorted. We need to be able to absorb the pressure and then be able to hit them on the counter. Whether it is, if it is a 50-50 game, we just need to be more compact and retain our shape, because we cannot allow us to be that open, or Casemiro to be allowed to be overrun. Because I think the best thing that has happened during this international break is a lot of these players have been able to, get that match sharpness in, and they look much better. Casemiro has looked so good for Brazil. Dalot, Bruno has looked by far one of the best players for Portugal during this international break.
Maguire.
I mean, I personally would start Lindelof at right back. I'd put Johnny Evans and Maguire at the back, and then I would put Reguilon at left back. I think that's, if you're gonna get the most success, I think that is the team that I would go
I
for.
really forgot about Reguilon.
I think offensively, we can the kind of offense that Brighton has to offer, we can still look, we can still be able to take care of that. What we are able to do on the offense, like going forward, is Rashford clinical enough? What is going to be a right wing situation? Højlund's first game as well, debut at Old Trafford. It will be a high pressure game for him as well. A lot of expectations associated with him. So it's going to be a very tough game for our attackers, I think. And if they turn up, I think we can be seeing a lot of goals in it. But if Højlund cracks under the pressure, because it will still take time for him to actually, be able to adapt and be able to get accustomed to the league, then we might have a hard game when it comes to, finishing off those chances. I actually have a good question. What would you rather take, a win against Bayern or a win against Brighton?
I
would take Brighton.
Yeah, Brighton.
We need points on the table.
Yeah, we need points on the table, and Bayern Munich's the hardest game in the group away. So if you lose that, you're probably going to win the rest against Copenhagen and Galatasaray, right? So I'd probably take my chances with that, and I'd take the win against Inge. But with that in mind, with everything that we've spoken about, let's do some quick fire questions. Tomorrow night, Man United versus Brighton, Old Trafford, Premier League. Will Brighton keep a clean sheet?
No.
Will Mitoma get a goal or an assist?
Yes, he'll get an assist.
Yeah.
Will we score more than 2 goals?
No.
I'm going to go yeah.
Get ready for my score prediction. You ain't seen nothing yet.
I would say exactly.
Out of the players that aren't available who started today, who would you draft in to play?
Kobe Mainoo.
I think looking at it, I'd probably look at it, Amrabat.
He isn't available?
Amrabat?
No, he's not available. Came out before that. He's not available for this game, so the next one. So
I would say Anthony,
yes. I don't know why I thought you were going to say something proper random then. You had a smile on your face. I was like, who's going to say it? Anthony, I think that's fair, to be fair. I think we've got a few misses in the team out there. I just hope once we actually get this team playing together, and the players that are injured, that are out, you get Mainoo in, you get Amrabat back in, you get all these guys. I think we'll actually look really, really good. But I don't know when we're going to see
because
the best 11 playing together.
Actually got, even if you include Scott McTominay and if you include Donny van de Beek, we've got 8 midfielders at the club right now.
Crazy, isn't it?
And out of those 8, 2 of them can actually function. 3 of them actually can function in the 10 and actually on the wing as well. Then in the offense, you've also got 3 young players, 2 senior players, so 5 wingers, and you've got, because Martial hasn't left, you still got 2 strikers at the club. So I think the moment Varane comes back into the fold, Luke Shaw actually comes back, this team will start to actually, be more efficient on the pitch. Because right now we've got just too many injuries.
Yeah. What's your prediction for man of the match, boys? Who do you think?
Højlund.
Oh.
Højlund.
Bruno.
Yeah, I think I got to go with Bruno. Every time he plays, he just be the best player on the pitch a lot of the time these days.
Oh, interesting.
To be honest, I would even start. I was totally against Bruno starting on the right, but after seeing him play for Portugal and putting in crosses from the right side, I would say at this moment when we are lacking the right wingers. I know a couple of you may not like this, but like Shreyas, but I would start Bruno on the right.
It's all right. Has the stream gone off?
No.
I'm looking at the stream now, and it's
still on. It's.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's on my phone as well.
All right, my thing just went and it just went off. So I was like, I don't know if I continue here or if it's thingy. Sorry, Dan. You was making a good point there. I apologise. Was someone going to jump in then? My brain's frazzled.
Okay. Yeah, Bruno. Why will he be performing? According to you, Nick, why will Bruno be able to perform well in this game?
Right. Okay. I don't know if he will or not. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know, Jeff. I don't know. I like him in some games.
An ad happened in the middle of the show.
Right, okay. Because it kind of reset to the start, and I was like, Shreyas. Anyway, right. Let's just do predicted 11s before I lose my mind. Shreyas, are we ready to go through it?
Yeah.
So let me know who's you put up first, and then go through your team and why you selected.
Your 11s first, Nick.
My 11s first. Okay. Andre Onana in net, obviously. Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Dalot. Fucking hell, man. I can't speak today. Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Lissandro, Dalot at the back. Yes, that's the defence and the goalkeeper. Midfield, Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes. And then the attack, I was like, I really in my heart think that Ten Hag will play either Garnacho on the right or put Bruno on the right. I believe that I'm heart. I'm just trying to put something into the spirit here with Pellistri in the starting on the right-hand side. I hope he does play him because he really deserves an opportunity. And if he doesn't get an opportunity now, I don't know what the fuck, whenever you're going to get an opportunity. Do you know what I mean? So Pellistri on the right, Højlund up top, and Marcus Rashford on the left is what I would go for.
And next is Adam.
Talk us through your team, Adam.
Just waiting to see it go up. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I've gone with obviously Onana in net. And the four at the back, I've gone with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Lissandro, and Dalot. What I saw against Arsenal, I was quite confident with that. I'm quite confident with Lindelof. And there's been a thing going on Twitter now where people are saying that Maguire is better than Lindelof. But every time Lindelof has come in to the actual squad, he's actually performed. He's been solid. Yeah, has he actually been warranted to be dropped from the team when he's played? I don't think he has, but just naturally Varane and Lissandro are better centre halves, and that's why they're kind of getting ahead of him. What I like is you never hear him complain about anything. You hear a lot of fuss about Harry Maguire not being happy, but Lindelof's happy to stay there, be the next choice, and I'm confident with him. Lissandro, if he's back, obviously picked that little bit of a niggle up against Arsenal, and it was a bit of a worry, but from what we've seen, it's nothing serious. So I'm happy with that. Dalot at left back, he shut down Saka in that game, looked really, really confident. And I didn't watch that Portugal game, but Shreyas said that he was one of the better players over the international break for Portugal. So I'm quite confident with him. In the midfield, I've gone with Casemiro, Bruno, and Eriksen. The only worry I have is Eriksen. I would prefer someone like Amrabat in there because we saw it, I think, was it after the Rashford goal?
Yeah.
Eriksen lost his man. Yeah. Odegaard ran through and it was...
Eriksen! Christian! Like, you fucking man! And he's like, what? What's going on? Like, Odegaard behind you, are you blind? Come on. Sort it out, man.
And I don't want to repeat it, but look, there's no other real option there that I have to go with him there. I would prefer Amrabat, and I probably would have done an Amrabat there and play like, kind of like a 4-2-3-1 with Bruno the more advanced. And up front, what I want to see is I want to see Rashford on the left. He's looked a lot better on the left than he has up front. He seems to enjoy that position a lot more, has more freedom. He's best is when he's actually running at a man rather than having his back to a man. So I'm more confident with him on the left. Højlund up front looked really, really good in that short cameo that he made against Arsenal. Was instrumental in that Garnacho goal that sadly didn't stand. With the fancy flick on, and I'm liking his movement in the box too, and that's why I've kind of gone with Pellistri on the right. I want to see Pellistri get to the touchline and just fire the ball across the box, because a lot of the goals that I did see from Højlund was him getting across his man and actually getting on the end of those and hitting it in from a tight angle. So that's the team I've gone with, and I would be confident that we can walk away with 3 points with that team.
Yeah, I like that. What analysis? Absolute top notch there. That's what I'm calling that. Who's next, Shreyas?
Next is mine. So I've pretty much gone with the same lineup. The only difference being I didn't know that Amrabat isn't available. So naturally Eriksen will be in that position alongside Bruno. And up top I've actually gone with Garnacho, Højlund and Rashford. I think Garnacho and Rashford might actually be interchanging, because I saw a glimpse of it during Arsenal when Garnacho came on, that Garnacho and Rashford are interchanging on the left hand side and the right hand side. So probably could be seeing it, because I think Pellistri will definitely be used as a sub in this game, because Ten Hag loves to make subs. I think around that 60 or 65th minute mark Pellistri gets on, but before that I think he'll once again be giving Garnacho a start, because I remember earlier this season as well that he came out and said that he expects Garnacho to be a starter by the end of this season. Like he wants Garnacho to be in that position. So I think Garnacho will get one more opportunity, because now that Sancho is out, Antony is out, I think he'll be given the first opportunity, and perhaps after that Pellistri will be given one. So that's my team, and this Eriksen alongside Bruno, and perhaps maybe in this game we'll be seeing Bruno in that 8 position which Eriksen usually played, and Eriksen being played as the 10, because Bruno has a much more, he has the legs and he has that work rate to do that job better than Eriksen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I found out that Amrabat wasn't in the team, I thought, I'm not doing another fucking graphic, because by that point I'd already done about 40, mate.
Yeah.
And honestly, thumbnails, I swear to God, this is the truth. Thumbnails, I think I did about 10 before I was like, oh shit, I forgot. He's like, we're not away, we're at home, we're doing this. I was like, oh fucking hell. So yeah, I thought, fuck that, I'm not rechanging him again. But we obviously, that news was pretty much late in the day, wasn't it? So it was like, Dan, have you put Amrabat in your team?
I would have loved to put him, but I don't think he's still ready to be starting games. But still, I feel that he might be part of the bench. I'm not sure about that, because there are so many players injured, so you will have empty bench. So rather have somebody sitting on there. So
put an ice pack on it.
Yeah, so I got the same team as what Shreyas mentioned. But I thought, like, if Mount would have been available, then definitely Ten Hag would have gone with Mount as 10 and Bruno on the right, because Bruno has been doing really good for Portugal from the right side of the pitch. But I know at this point, I think Ten Hag will go with Garnacho on the left and Rashford on the right. But I'm totally against that setup, because now you want Rashford to be settled on the left side of the formation, and now you're shifting his position to the right. Rather, you have option in Pellistri to start, because he has been so impactful whenever he has come on from the bench. And Garnacho, somehow I feel that I know he's still young, but he's still not that effective when he's starting the games as compared to when he is coming on in the second half of the game. So I would rather still keep him on the bench and impact the game from the bench in the second half, and start Pellistri on the right. But I think Ten Hag will start Rashford and Garnacho and Højlund in the front three.
I agree. I'll be devastated for Pellistri if you don't get on tomorrow. If you don't start. Yeah, well, obviously you will be. That's a given, isn't it? The sky's blue, the green is grass. Shreyas loves Pellistri. It's kind of a given there. Right, we spoke about every possible angle we possibly could. With that in mind, Adam, do you want to give us your score prediction and who you think is going to score?
I'm getting a number like 3-1 or 3-2. I'm going to go with 3-2, just because the defence has looked a bit leaky this season. I think we have enough in to get the 3 points, and I would be confident just seeing Højlund and Rashford on the counter, and that's why I'm hoping Pellistри's there as well, because we just want to break at speed, and I think we might see that in the transition, and I want to see it a bit faster, because I remember in the first half against Arsenal, for a lot of the time, like Ten Hag has spoke about, we want to be the best team in transitions, and we're holding on to the ball too long. Just get it up the pitch faster. A counter-attack faster. It's something that we've always been good at under Ferguson. We've even seen it like under the likes of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. We were a really, really good transition team. So I want to see a few. I think it's going to be a game of counter-attacks, almost like a game of chess. It will be like a pawn for a pawn. So I'm going to go with 3-2. I think I'm going to see Rashford score. I think Højlund is going to get one. And I'm going to go with a Bruno penalty.
Okay, I'm still thinking about a pawn for a pawn, but we'll move on from that.
Pawn.
A pawn for a pawn. A Lund for a Lund, if you know what that means. Shreyas, give us your score prediction, mate.
I think Højlund scores and Pellistri scores off the bench.
Nice. 2-0. Brighton don't score.
2-1.
Oh, 2-1. Okay. Mr. Raj, what do you think?
I'll go with the same one, 2-1. Højlund and Bruno Fernandes scores. And for Brighton, I think Estupinan scores because he's there in my FPL team.
So you want him to score rather than you think he'll... Yeah, fair play. Fair play to you. I think the last time I did a score prediction, not to kind of toot my own on, but I think I actually got it right. I said 3-1 Arsenal, didn't I?
Yeah.
In the preview.
Yeah.
So hopefully this one is right as well. I'm going to go 4-3 United. The reason why I put a thumbnail barn burner is because I think honestly, I do think it will. It'll be surprises from both ends. And I think it'll be like open goal scoring, but hopefully we come out on top.
Newcastle game.
Yes, like that, but maybe a little bit dialed down slightly. I think that's what's going to happen. But look, it'll be a treat for whoever's at Old Trafford anyway, and it'll be a treat for us who's doing the watch along. So I will be on the watch along tomorrow at 3 o'clock, or not at 3 o'clock, it's kick off at 3 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, sorry, with team lineups. So make sure you come and join me for that. 3 o'clock kickoff, as you guys know, so it's not on TV. So yeah, if you want to come join me for the watch along, then just click on the YouTube and hop over. Make sure you drop us a follow on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook now, which is got a load of angry Liverpool and Arsenal fans on there. So if you want to go wind them up, you're more than welcome to do that.
I saw that.
Yeah, honestly. Some of them, it's so easy to wind them up. You mention anything about Bruno Fernandes or VAR and they fucking lose the shit. So, yeah, big up to all the salty fans that are out there. Yeah. Any final words, lads, ahead of the game tomorrow? Dan, Adam, Shreyas, any of yous?
I'm going to go with shut down Ferguson. Operation Shut Down Ferguson.
Okay.
I don't want to see him scoring under the Ferguson stand.
Yeah, I've just got a vision of someone walking over to Fergie in the stand now and just knocking a pie out of his hand.
Yeah, I can see the journalists the cameramen are going to be there already trying to get the Ferguson stand.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's the money shot.
Yeah. Dan, any final words before we go into battle?
I would say just come inside top 10 first.
Okay. Finish top 10. Is that your message to the team? Right.
Operation Chelsea.
Motivational, yeah. Shut down Ferguson, finish top 10. All right, solid. Shreyas?
Yeah, just be open to the possibility of anything happening within the first 10 minutes.
Oh, wow, so you're going all philosophical on people?
Yeah.
Okay, very nice.
As long as we're not the ones that are open.
Let's go smash the fucking Seagulls. That's what I'm saying. Go smash the Seagulls. Get your chip here, come home with the 3 points, and we'll take it from there. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. I appreciate it's been a lot of comments, but because we had a lot to get through, I couldn't really read a lot of them out, as we usually do. Have a lovely weekend, everyone, and I'll see you for the game tomorrow. Take care. Big up to the lads for joining me. See you in the next one. Peace.
Yes.
And we won't blaze out. We won't blaze out, and we won't blaze out. We won't blaze out, and we won't blaze out.